I said, I will no longer do things to get things. I'm not going to put God's will on pause so I can go and try and get a subscriber. I'm not going to put God's will on pause so I can go and put out videos on a daily basis. It takes me 6 months. It took me a year to make all of Countdown to Breakthrough, which means I disappeared off of YouTube for 6 months just to develop it. Another 6 to edit, do all, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff. And it was amazing. It was one of the most amazing experiences. Now, ultimately, we talking, whatever else we're talking about comes second to this experience of being lived by love. Remember, when I say love, I'm talking about experiencing reality. I'm talking about love is oneness. Love is oneness, or you could say love is reality itself felt. Love is reality itself when felt. It is the totality. There is no separation in it, which means that to be lived by that love is to be lived by God itself. By God, of course, I mean the basis of reality, the very fabric of existence. And what happens when I do is that I begin to access a freedom that money cannot buy. Remember, 30 years old, I remember what it's like walking the streets. You ain't got nothing to do. You got your whole day to read and eat wherever you want to eat. Do you know what I'm saying? Do it like you start putting on extra weight just because you can, you go anywhere, do it, whatever. Plus I'm in the city, so it's like, I'm sitting here exploring every single thing, bro. I'm telling you. It's cool for about a year. But then after that, God will start to speak with you. Nature itself will start to compel you to say, you know what, maybe you should be asking some deeper questions here. Because what you're doing ain't it. And once you find that nature, once you understand what that God force feels like in you, working through you, what it actually feels like to love on command, what it actually feels like to be a part and be lived by this totality, to be moving with the universe as the universe moves. Oh, you can't learn this in no college. And it's not something that you can purchase. So if you are operating from this understanding and the entire world is operating from a whole different thing, they over here talking about some, get your money, get your paper, get all that stuff. That's cool. It's cool. But none of that is the same as being lived by love. So for me, everything I do is for love alone to the greatest capacity that I can. To the greatest capacity that I can. Because if I allow the world to dictate what I do, I'd never create what no one has ever created before. If I allowed the world to dictate what I do, then I would never create what has never existed before. I would be too hung up either on blame or on bargaining, trying to figure out, well, how can I make sure I can do this thing later, but I'll do it in a 6 month interval, assuming that I've got X, Y, and Z in place. Assuming that there's enough fans, assuming then we can give them this, then we can start a Kickstarter, and then we can go hit them with the. If I gotta wait for somebody else to be interested in what I'm doing in order for me to feel comfortable enough to follow God, I don't understand that kind of faith. I don't get that kind of faith. That's not faith. Or rather, it is faith. It's a faith that is invested in survival. It's a faith that is invested in looking to ameliorate fear, right? To handle and pacify fear, to deal with uncertainty. Mm-mm. Because the thing is this, the moment you make one fearful choice, even if it seems logical, it becomes so much easier to make another fearful choice after that. It's so much easier to make another fearful choice after that. But the whole time, it looks just like logic. It looks like it should make sense. It looks completely rational.